Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. I think one thing I can say, and if you ever can't hear me, see you guys back there, put your hand up. Hope my voice doesn't get too rough. I've been talking for a couple hours already. Thank you, thank you. I think one thing we can all say without reservation and with heartfelt honesty, we all love the club. I have to say, I'm sorry. I wish we weren't here tonight. We did a abysmal job of not just this year, but past, bringing you all along in this journey that started almost 4 years ago. And many of you have been part of, intimately, but the vast majority have not. Literally thousands of hours some individuals have put into this project. And I commend all of them for that. But at the end of the day, we failed you all by not letting you know what was going on to the level that you should have been known. So I start with a big, big sorry for that. But knowing we love this place, this is a great club we're looked up at. We hired a outstanding, and I'm somewhat not objective about this, I'm a little jaded, but outstanding COO this past winter. He won out of 5 other outstanding COOs from around the area, the region, the country that he competed against. Each one, and I think I alluded to this winter, we don't quite understand when we live our lives in this world. People think Happy Hollow is a big deal. I learned that this winter, and how we behave and operate, and how we are as club members to one another is a part of that big deal. So we love the place, and we're going to make this work. I just want to start off with an apology of not getting the information to you that we should have. Getting on to the business, we received a request for a special meeting a few months back from the Friends of Happy Hollow, and we certainly respected that process and that bylaw. There were 2 points of business in that special meeting, and by bylaw and by state statute, so anything to be discussed at a special meeting were those 2 points of business. The board got together this afternoon at 4 o'clock. We've been getting together twice a week for forever, it seems like, for the guys. And we hammered out some agreements. As of this afternoon, we put a pause on the project. The way the project came back, it was evident that there just is not the support present at this time for this type of project that was presented to you in that deal letter. So consequently, I spoke with Tom Kelly and told him that phase 2, as announced in that letter, would then be part of that motion, has been taken off the table, and we put a halt to it, a pause, I'll say, a timeout button, as we consult with some more folks about that. Hence, there will be no vote. There was going to be a non-binding vote by bylaw of our club folks on that particular subject. I know there's many of you who came here to talk about it and hear information about it. We'll be glad to stay here and talk about it outside the special meeting rules. But that's where we're at this afternoon, and Tom and his group accepted that. There was another motion to amend the Articles of Incorporation. I asked Tom to come up and maybe say a word about that right now. We as a board recommended rejecting that proposal also. The reasons, we felt it arbitrary. We felt it had to do, and motivational wise, basically because of this project. We feel it hamstrings former or subsequent boards to an arbitrary number that 5 million today isn't the same in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And we shouldn't handcuff our boards. Tom, you want to come up and say something about that?
Thank you, Tom. I want to echo his comments and thank Tom Walker and the entire board. They have worked tirelessly on this project because they love the club. My name is Tom Kelly. I've been a member since 2003. Again, I want to thank the entire board. I also want to thank the staff, particularly Dave Schneider and Jeff Tyson. An unbelievable amount of work went into organizing this. However, in light of the steps that have been taken, myself and Mike Young, don't believe that there's any reason to go forward on amending the articles. The board has already amended the bylaws to encompass that. We don't see any need, so we're going to withdraw that motion because we don't believe it to be appropriate. One thing I will say is absolutely clear. There is no better club in Omaha than Happy Hollow. Just filling this room up on a Friday night shows how much we care about the club. And it's going to continue to be that way. So again, thank you all for coming, and we're not going to vote on item number 2.
Thank you, Tom. Is this still on? So sorry, we're done. Oh no, don't get excited. I'm drinking with my left hand. Here, let me finish it up 1 second, then we're going to open it up. We need to be still somewhat corporate here. There is not going to be a special meeting tonight. Both motions have been taken off, ladies and gentlemen. And in a way, I'm going to tell you, I'm glad. Like we said, we all love this place. We're going to come back with a plan that everyone understands, is communicated, and is apparent to all, with all sorts of groups working on it. I was going to leave it to the end, but I do want to remember this in case we start talking and I forget. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Schneider, Jeff Tyson, all this fact, these folks have worked their behinds off, and I'm going to get a little too emotional about this. I was getting emails from Jeff and Dave at midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock. They're still here, ladies and gentlemen, working on these things. And Dave's been here 6 months, Jeff's been here, what, 4 months? And all I've done is apologize to them and say, this isn't how it usually is. Please believe this. You walked into this, and this is not what you signed up for. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, other than that, I've heard one complaint from somebody that they want to move. There is a motion, but I wouldn't recognize it. The annual meeting to the summertime, because he's gone in the wintertime. He wants a free steak dinner tonight, but that ain't happening. We'll have to bring that up some other time. But we're all here, and if there's anything that we can answer, if you have any questions, we'd like to talk about just a second, everybody, but I want to make it clear before you get too specific. As of right now, the project's on hold. We have some other questions generic to that, but we don't know exactly what the project necessarily will be, so we can't get specific on things, okay? If that makes sense? All right.
My name is Brad Hess. I've been a member since 1989, 29 years. And yes, I love Happy Hollow, and I love all the members. Just a question, Tommy. What does the pause mean, okay? Does that mean that you're going to consider a scaled-down version? Or does that mean that you're going to go ahead with the original project plan and get more competitive bidding?
That was our first discussion this afternoon to find pause, board members. Really what it really means right now is we see we're not barreling ahead. The heck with that. We heard we need support for this type of project. This is not the environment to put this thing together in. So with that said, we're going to put together another task force. Right now, this is fluid, but 3 members and 2 members of the Friends group are going to get together. I hope Monday, if we can. The thing I've got to remember, a lot of us have jobs yet, but I found out that it gets tough to get this many people together all the time. But we hope to do it soon, first next week, and hammer a lot of those things out. So it'll be what I see right now. We haven't been able to meet that. We haven't met it, we just put it together real quick. But it's a scope and scale and finance issue. This is what we hope to reevaluate. Programming will be an issue. Remember, the building wasn't the building, it was the programming that had to fit to the buildings where we started from. So we're going to have to talk about the programming, what folks will want, and how that fits over. But does that kind of answer it? But I would say, if everybody heard me correct, scope and size and financing. Eric Becker.
Will you be refunding the $5,200 that many of us have paid?
Not at this time. No, there's still going to be assessment, ladies and gentlemen. There still will be. Still will be. It's part of the entire renovation package. We're using that money now up front, on the renovation up front. And phase one, if you want to call it phase one. Does that make sense?
No, if we've paid this money for the projects that were planned, the $5,200, as I understood it, now the plans are on hold.
No, the assessment was for the entire renovation of the campus, which included phase one, the front end was completed before Easter. So the assessment is part of the entire financing of the project. As we sit here tonight, you asked me that. No, there's no refunding or difference in the assessment plan. Has not changed. It would be part of the financing of the rest of the project. Am I saying that correctly? There's still going to be a project, ladies and gentlemen.
How much have we paid in architect's fees for the building?
So as of this afternoon, Jeff Tyson had pulled a report. $260,000 have already been spent on phase 2 for architectural fees.
Well, I mean, but how much just for that building?
$260,000.
So if you adjust that building, that's for the most part gone.
That's a great question. We're going to be researching that and finding how much we can recoup of the existing money.
You won't recoup any. If you change the building, shrink it, adjust it in any way, it's going to cost more money.
That is a possibility.
So you might consider that what you got is what you got. And you're wasting money if you don't do it.
That's also a possibility.
So you're saying if the overall project is shrunk, the assessment stays the same, then the amount of debt that would be incurred would be less?
As we sit here tonight, that would be our hope.
I mean, that was just,
Yes.
accounting.
Good point. That would be our hope. Once again, I want to stress, tonight as we sit here.
Understand.
Yeah. Did everybody hear that?
Say it again.
Okay, Dave, this is a question that I asked you in the meeting in the Wimbledon room. A few years back, we spent $1.1 million in this room, okay? And to my understanding, the whole goal with that $1.1 million expenditure was to increase the amount of people the number of people that wanted to eat in here, okay? And my understanding was that the actual numbers have actually gone down from that point, okay? So we didn't accomplish the goal. And I asked you at that meeting, is food at the club a money loser or a money winner? And you point blank said, food loses money every single year, okay? So we've got this restaurant here, this facility in the Starlight. We've got the main dining room, restaurant available, and then the pub. And it's underutilized. All other than the pub, those other two areas are underutilized, and they lose money. So my point was, and I hope, in the redo here, I hope we don't consider a fully staffed restaurant over there, because in my opinion, we're doubling down on a money loser. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Okay.
Okay, it's a great point. For show of hands, out of curiosity of who had come to the town hall meetings or maybe the financial meetings, in a show of hands. So half maybe. So it's an excellent point. The business model at a private equity club or a private club is based on essentially one thing and one thing only. It is based on the dues. You sitting in this room and you paying your monthly dues. That's the business model that continues to have the club operate in the fashion that you enjoy it. So food and beverage of people in our peer group, it is very, very common for it to have food and beverage operations that are a cost center to the operation. Very, very common. And so with that being said, it's like, well, why is that? How come somebody with 1,100 families, how come we can't have it profitable? The bottom line is that there are a lot of outlets that you like to choose to use your food and beverage. Some like the pub, some like the Starlight, some like the pool house, some like the cry room, etc. That's a lot of staff to have all those things. Plus there are a lot of donated items that you folks enjoy, and that's very customary. I don't think anyone's ever paid for an apple here. No one's paid for a cookie. I think there's a number we did is 80,000 cookies that we do in a year, but that's your dues help subsidize that. That's not wrong. And so one of the items, and he's exactly right, the pub and the Starlight, they're probably never going to be full. But by adding a casual component, which does not exist currently at the club in a year-round capacity, that overall is going to increase the overall usage, is our belief.
But it'll take people away from who we eat.
Yes, that might be the case. But if you're increasing the overall usage in food and beverage, and you are now creating another outlet that is going to have members stay and use it with their families, as well as bring new families in, the dues will help subsidize that cost. That is truly the analysis, not only on our behalf, but done by consultants.
And Brad, I got a little simpler answer for you too. I think it might be simpler. I mean, we're a club, we're not in the restaurant business. F&B loses money in every country club across the universe. The real reason for that space over there is we have a group, folks, of members that don't feel welcome here with their children. It's the reason for that space there. They can't come in and have kids running around. You wouldn't believe the calls Dave gets with, gosh darn, kid was running around, get him out of here. You know, we can't use that, we can't use this, they can't go in the pub. Where does a family with 2 young kids to go get a hamburger and want to watch a Creighton basketball game go at our place? I had a young lady ask me once, Tom, I don't want to have to take my kids to Runza or down in Millie's. I want to come to my club. Guys and ladies, or ladies and gentlemen, give me like I'm down in Creighton. It's for other parts of the membership that feel they can't come here or don't get to use it. That's all the space is for, really. It was going to be super casual, get up there with mom and dad. I had one mom, it's usually the moms, guys. We got to understand, times, a lot of decisions are made by our ladies anymore, our friends, our wives, our others, our significants. And we have a deluge of, Tom, I just want to come after I pick them up from swim practice at Westside, come on over here, I got done working out, I smell, I'm sweaty, I got my ponytail, I want to come over, have a hamburger, a beer, and watch Blue Jays. And I can't come over here. I have to come over there and pick it up or do it. Now they got a place they can go over. We would have people that could use the club. That's all it's for. And their kids. That's one of the main reasons for it. Young families.
Tom, so we're going to have a pause, and then you're going to have a project. Are we going to get to vote on that? Will it be transparent to us?
It should be more transparent, but to stay tried and true to the bylaws, Jim. I don't think we vote on club business. The shareholders vote for the board members. So if we were really worried about voting for a project, be sure you know who you have for your board. I do not believe in voting on projects at a club personally, nor do our bylaws. So what we need to do a better job of is being more inclusive and letting people know what's happening. You have to have faith in your board at a private country club. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, are you going to then send something out to kind of right-size this project? Are you going to then ask? I mean, I don't know what all the issues were, but my question is, it seems like there's a disconnect between what you were going to do and what people thought was wise to do. So as you right-size this, are you going to then go out and ask members?
I hope we overdo it this time.
Okay, so we'll be getting something and you'll take that into account. Because I've been here many nights where it's not crowded. So my only concern is, I understand what you're saying there, but the question is, are you looking into maybe why this is not used that much and maybe right size the usage? Because I'm just curious. About
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and I hope you don't get tired of everything you get this time. You had one already, over here. Oh, Tad, I'm sorry. I'll be right back to you.
I just had a question in regards to Dave's comment and your comment about few clubs making any kind of profit. We have two private clubs here in town that support several families, Shadow Ridge and the Champions. How do they survive?
Dues.
No, not necessarily.
Private clubs.
Shanahan redid their golf course and didn't have any assessment. Champions is redoing their tracks. They're not doing any assessment.
They're both privately owned.
Well, I know, but how do they stay in business if they don't make a profit?
The F&B, we make a profit of over $1 million a year. Tad, is that what you're getting at? If this club does. We make a profit, folks. We're talking about a line item. Food and beverage at this club is not a profitable line item. Do we understand that? This club is not losing money. I hope that didn't get out there somehow with what we were explaining. And I'm sure those other clubs make a profit also. But yeah, there's seldom an assessment at a privately owned, well, there are, but these two, when you bring those two examples up, the Horgans and Shanty, I mean, he can raise his dues or he can sell a bunch of lots or he can do what he wants, but.
We did a $700,000 redo of our tracks too without an assessment.
Yeah.
That all came out of cash flow.
But you had a club right down the road that did a big building and they went belly up.
Say again.
I heard that, and yeah, that's an apple and an orange. I'll love to sit down and explain all that with you, but that place was dying and it was dead, and they went in the whole building a building. This place is full, rocking, $1 million cash flow. It's night and day what we're talking about.
Too big to fail, huh?
No, we're not going to get, if people start hollering, I'll walk out right now. Am I clear?
Bye.
Serious, you can excuse yourself. We're not going to do that. We just talk about this as Happy Hollow, and we don't act that way. You think we do? Then don't act that way. Yes, Joe.
My name is Joe Muzzi. I was privileged to be a board member, and I thank you all for the work you did. I know it's a thankless job because what I remember vividly was coming out and people saying, "You got a minute? The soup's too salty." And the other people would say there's not enough spice in the soup, and so you'd invite them to write a letter to the board. That said, I experienced when we talked about knocking down our clubhouse. And what I hated to see was people not talk to each other who were longtime friends. Egos get in the way, emotions flare up. My suggestion to the board is this, that Ken Power was our president at the time. He did what you have done, put together representatives of two groups with varying ideas, with the idea that there would be a compromise that could be accomplished. But then, the board had enough confidence in the result of that to ask membership, does this sound like what you want? But I think it's not a bad PR move. So you don't have to apologize for PR following the articles. I agree with that. But we could improve, I suggest, by saying this is the project, this is what we've come up with input from both people. What do you folks that are the shareholders think? And that'll guide us to whether we're on the right track. And, you know, it's a shorter process, Tom, than having special meetings.
Agree 1,000%, Joe. And that's why. Agree 10,000%, Joe. Thank you for your points there. Exactly, folks. I'm sure we'll do that again. I just make sure when we talk about voting, I stay true to the governance of the club, that it's non-binding, but certainly, that's what we did tonight, everybody. We saw the numbers come back and knew that there was just no support for this project. Hence, we didn't barrel through with the project. Everybody can understand that, and that's what we would do again. I'm sure we will do it. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I hope no one misconstrues when I said we're not going to vote on a project, but we still might have a vote as a barometer. Does that make sense? I don't want to mess with bylaws. I don't want to mess with articles. I just don't like messing with that. Yes, I can't see, but oh, sure.
Rudy Thomas. I got
Is there one nearby? Just can't hear it.
I'm Rudy Thomas. I've been here for 22 years. I have two questions. First of all, you mentioned the assessment being part of phase one. I don't remember ever a discussion on assessments when that phase was being done. Nothing was said on assessment until you started this phase over here. But second of all, I think if you do come up with a downsized project or right size, however you want to phrase it, I'd like to see the financing and the assessment rethought so that there's a little bit more equalism between those that are actually using that facility and those that never even go across the parking lot to go over there. And I don't think that was even considered or thought of because my guess is, considering the age over here, there's not a lot of us that go over there. So I'd like for you to at least consider that.
I have two young kids, 3 and 10 months, and my wife and I are fully behind the project. We're excited about it. It was something that we could do on a weekly basis, that we didn't have to go to another restaurant. We could go to Happy Hollow, which for us is our second home. For me especially, having grown up here, Happy Hollow is a place that I love, and it is a place that I enjoy coming to on a regular basis. The thing that I think is being missed in some of the questions is the culture and what the vision moving forward will be for Happy Hollow. We had concerns about this room not being used enough. Do we change this room and the culture of this room to something where it's more accepting of my family and loud kids that we will try to wrangle in? But the concern is that we don't get to do some of the things we want to do in this club because the facilities just aren't there. We want to come and watch a Husker football game, but we can't go into the pub because of our kids. So now we're relegated to go to an outside restaurant and establishment. We want to spend our time here, and we want to have Happy Hollow grow with people in our peer group and in our situation. We're a young family, we don't have a ton of money, but we are happy to pay the assessment. We are happy to invest into Happy Hollow so my kids can enjoy it and hopefully their kids can enjoy it. Obviously, I would get the benefit a lot more than some of the other members here because of the age range and the age gap, but I just hope that people really consider the ramifications if we close down this club and we say that this club is for an older generation, not to say that you can't play tennis or enjoy some of the facilities, but what I'm saying is that when I tell my friends, please come join, they look at the club and they're just like, it doesn't really fit for me, maybe I don't play golf like I do, they want to play tennis, but the facilities just don't look very appealing to them, so we need a specific vision and maybe possibly talk about a culture change in which that supports the club moving forward.
And I want to just dovetail off of one thing, and we always get reports on inquiries and people who join and decide not to join. I just have to one point, he said, we cannot keep hearing this place does not fit me. I'm too young for this place. I say that with all respect to everyone that I respect in this room. That I hope I can make that clear, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting a lot of, I don't fit in this place. And they can afford to be here. Okay, everyone? That's where some of this comes from. All right, Chuck?
I don't know. I think 17 years, 18 years, whatever it is. But my question to you is, when this thing gets processed, are we going to...
Yeah, they can't hear you. You got it.
Please.
You got to be able to.
Okay. Are we going to get proposals from different contractors for this? Or do we just have one contractor we talk to?
Right now, no, it was bid out as one project with 4 companies. Oh, yeah, that's understood, isn't it? NGC is going to get many vendors, is that what you're saying? No. No, Chuck, what were you asking?
Sorry.
You were asking if it was bid out, didn't you?
Yeah.
And if this new part would be rebid?
Right.
No.
Yeah, I just want to know if, geez, I just want to know if with the rebid, are we going to send it to several contractors?
The project was bid at the beginning with several contractors, right? Yeah, that's right.
And you've awarded the contract out there to NGC regardless. Can you explain that if you're telling me Happy Hollow is the best of the best, and we're bidding out work, which lowest dollar doesn't always mean best value, can you explain to me the quality work that was given to us for $2.2 million that doesn't even come close to quality work in here today?
It looks like crap.
So you and I had a conversation the other day. So I think it was 2 weeks ago on a Sunday night or Saturday night, we had sent out an email basically explaining that we had a humidity issue in the western half of our club that produced swelling of not only some of the panels that were put into the new space, but also in the flooring. We are in the process of doing that research right now. The humidity levels in that space, 2 separate meters, 2 different companies, are in the high 60s. So the bottom line is that we don't know if it's always been that case every summer. Unfortunately, there's 3 or 4 or 5 of us that weren't here last year and previous years. But that humidity level, the fact it is in the high 60s, and the items that were placed in there did not react well to that at all. NGC has been come in all the days that Kelly will allow us to come in to do that research, or I'm sorry, do that repair. And so I think they're about 50% done with those items, plus a couple other items that we've asked them to address. So right now it's not definitive for or against that it's anything that they did versus a condition that exists on that side of the clubhouse that didn't exist before. Some of the facts of the matter on is that right underneath is the men's steam room. And the facts of the matter is that steam fan is not working. It hasn't been working, but we don't know how long. Might have been 30 years or it might have been the last 2 months. But that is being rectified, as well as all of our HVAC systems, to find out how much humidity we can pull out of the air. So we're all in a research phase right now, but NGC has stood by every inch of the project is going to stay until it's 100% to our satisfaction, with no cost.
It'll click up.
Got it now?
Yeah.
Mark Dietrich, and I've been a member here since 1985, and I just wanted to comment that I think that this entire issue, which I think you're gathering is the same as me, that if each one of these individual projects, some of which are giving more critiques than what you anticipated, would have been sent out individually to the members, that this whole thing would have been passed the first time it was an issue.
I'm so sorry, I've got 2 hearing aids. I know but if we communicated better, I think, yes, that's why I'm so full of contrition and hat in hand and sorry and apologize. That's my biggest regret over all this stuff. So when I told the lady before, I hope you don't get mad at you when I get inundated from now on. Over here.
The other item that's on the agenda.
We really need to have you up here, and I'm sorry.
I have a question about the other item on the agenda. Gave us what we're going to change to, and I don't know what we are today. So in our articles of incorporation and or in our bylaws, what limits does the board have before they have to come to members to incur
Are we talking about, I'm sorry, you guys got to tell me about the articles, amending the article?
I'm asking, what is our current situation?
They were both silent.
Both the articles in our bylaws.
We're silent on that.
And what's
authority. So, thanks.
Say what, pardon me?
You're telling me both the articles and the bylaws do not define the board's authority to
No, the bylaws and corporate statute define the board's authority in a corporation.
No, to borrow money? To borrow money?
They are both silent as far as indebtedness. We amended the bylaws a month ago for that motion that was made.
The hottest thing in pools anymore are splash pads now. People are building them everywhere. Lazy rivers and that kind of thing. You don't have enough room for the lazy river. But it would be nice when you do this if you look at a splash pad. Champions is about to put one in, and their pool already is way, way nicer than ours. So if you're going to do something, the pool is always packed. Some splash pads would be nice.
That's phase 3 that's now on pause.
We'll make it phase 2.
I would love to see you out there in that splash pad.
I think this club needs to think about not just people who are coming in new with their children, and I'm fine with that. But I do believe that some of us have paid our dues, and we really need a place where we can go and have a conversation. And I just wanted to put that out. I participated in some of the other meetings a few years ago, and I brought that up. I go to a club in Odessa, Texas, Oil Basin. They have a small club. They have a really great facility for families, jumping houses, everything you want, and a smaller dining room with a dress code. I go to that club every time I go there. Just asking you guys to think about it. I don't think you'll need more time.
Thank you.
Are you saying that you don't have young families like myself and the gentleman over there? No.
I did not say that.
Oh, no, yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a conversation between us and the board. I will say what she brought up is a motivation for a space. And exactly, we all do business, we all have clients. And I can't bring up I do business in Texas too, up there, a friend from Lubbock up here, and then have my buddy's kids jumping on my lap, and that's an issue. And that's what we're trying both to figure out. Yep, you betcha, I betcha. Okay, is that it? Again, thank you everyone. We'll reset, and I hope you just don't get inundated with too much information this time. Thank you.